right after the pandemic started, that Hoops and Homework was able to jump through all the hoops they had to get reopened. But they did, and we had a summer program, which was a lot of fun. It was pretty amazing. They were able to bring in the power play group. They brought in the yoga. And Diana and I just, kept the kids engaged, did all kinds of programming through the summer. The kids did journals. They did a lot of reading and math. And of course, because of my interests, we did a lot of nature programming. So, I mean, that's my background. So that's basically what I had to build off of. So I've been involved with Hoops and Homework now for 4 years. So I really got a chance to, learn about the kids at the interfaith site. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun getting to know them. And we did a lot of cool activities. I forget the name of the person that does the whole garden thing, but we tied a lot of our stuff into the garden activities. We planted flowers. We went through the whole life cycle of plants. We went out into the areas around the site and we looked for insects and different animals that we could find just right there around the center. And one of the things that sticks out to me is the day that we found the baby snake. And I'll have to send you pictures because the kids were just fascinated by this baby snake. And they got to handle it. They got to, learn a little bit about it. We kept it in a little container at the site for a little bit. And then, of course, we let it go. But that was a lot of fun. Another big thing I remember over the summer was the praying mantis. I brought in a couple of praying mantis for the kids to look at. And we actually let them go in the garden and we could watch them actually hunting. And each day we would go out and we would look for the praying mantis to see what it was doing, try to find it again. It was hard. They're amazingly well camouflaged, but the children made a game of trying to find the praying mantis and we would try to find it. And that was another thing that I really enjoyed about the summer. Other than that, it was, we tried to find a good balance between trying to keep them up with their school stuff. So journals, reading, math, all that. But we also knew that we had to, it's summertime, so you have to give them a chance to go outside and play. And we did that a lot. A lot of free play, a lot of games that we came up with. A kickball, we had some epic kickball games, a lot of things like that. So it was a lot of fun. It was a good summer program, I thought. And then we were making preparations to roll into the school year, doing whatever we could to support remote learning. It's called the Box program. It's through Reebok. And the whole idea of this program is to just get kids, just up and moving around, which is important, especially now when it's, it's winter, it's a little bit more difficult to get outside. And, with people being locked down because of the pandemic. So this whole Box program, it's basically just an exercise program. It's just fun exercises to get the kids up and moving. And so I didn't do a lot with the remote learning at Pusan, but I was able to go there and kind of get this program up and running, the Box program. And right from the very first time we introduced it, the kids really responded to it. So I think, being in front of a computer screen for several hours a day, trying to get in all the remote learning, I think it was really good for them to be able to get up still maintain social distancing. You know, they had to do these exercises at their spot, you know, at their desks. But the different things that the box people kind of put together, I think make it really fun and interesting. So the kids really responded to it. They liked the games, they liked the challenges, they like competing against each other, and the whole time they're moving around, and it's definitely been a good thing. There were some sessions where we just let it roll and we just kept going. I mean, usually these programs are designed to be kind of short, basically just to get kids' heart rates up a little bit. But there were some instances where we just kept going and going and going. And the next thing I know, these kids are exhausted and they're sweating. We have to take water breaks, and then we'll come back to it and they still want to keep going. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, it's volcanoes is always a good one. You know, when you get to actually, you know, add the chemicals and watch the reaction and see the volcanoes actually, you know, it's a fake eruption, but it looks good, and the kids like doing it. I remember the last time we did volcanoes, we actually had the kids actually, I had some that I'd been using for a long time, and they were in kind of rough shape because, you know, with all the chemicals and stuff, they started to fall apart a little bit. So we had the kids put them back together and repaint them and get them ready for another round of eruptions. So, I mean, that stuff like that is always a lot of fun. Let's see, other science. So we did, I mean, during the summer, we did some nature walks, which was really good. Through the community, looking for different things. We would bring things back to the sanctuary and then talk about them some more. Nature's Mystery is always a thing that I like to do with the kids. We did a bunch of those where I'll bring something into the center and they have to try to answer questions and try to figure out what it is, where it came from, you know, what kind of role it plays in the environment. We got to be careful though. There was one walk that we went on where I think we were looking for salamanders, but yeah, that was still a fun day, just being outside and just exploring. And some of the other, I'm trying to think of some of the other things that we did. We did some engineering challenges where we tried to build contraptions and try to manipulate the way, you know, a ping pong ball will move from like one side of the table to the other, try to get it into a cup. The kids really like that, so we'll probably do something like that again.
And you have any idea of what it would be like if there was no hoops and homework there? What are the alternatives to what's going on in the environment that you can tell in that area?
I mean, there doesn't seem to be much. So I think hoops and homework is one of the few things that these kids can you know get, you know, they can be involved with. And the fact that we have these two sites right there, right where the kids live, I think is I think it's an important. I think it's really good for these kids, and I really hope that we can expand the numbers. You know, hopefully they can all get back into school. I know Framingham has been fully remote. So I think it's important to get the kids back into the schools, and certainly a place like Hoops and Homework can kind of fill the gap a little bit with the schools closed. You know, get the kids in, get them reading, doing math, whatever, and certainly helping them with their remote learning. But yeah, it seems like initially it was tough with, you know, just expectations and getting the kids to, you know, kind of buy in that like this is the way that it's going to be for a while. And then after a while, it seemed like it just became it's more natural. This is what we have to do. And the kids kind of bought into it a little bit, and they started to do a little bit better. They started to understand expectations. And so, I mean, it's definitely not an ideal situation, but I think they're doing okay. And that's all. I mean, from my perspective, it just seems like they're doing okay with the remote learning.
And have you heard any stories about kids who are home and trying to do the remote by themselves with no supervision? Do you have any experience with that? Have you heard any?
I haven't, but I imagine it's difficult. Just seeing some of the things that go on at Busan with little technical glitches, and fortunately, the Busan staff knows at this point the little tricks, whatever it takes to get these kids, reconnected. That's been tricky, Chromebooks dying, having no power, not having enough outlets to plug in and recharge all these Chromebooks, things like that. So I can't imagine a kid at home by himself being able to figure out some of these little technical challenges on their own. Well, the only thing I'd like to say is I think I've been involved with the program in different capacities for a while, it's probably close to 4 years now. And I've always loved the program. I'm glad that I'm a part of it. And, I can't wait to see how things are moving forward. There's all kinds of plans about increasing the enrollment, bringing more kids in. I think the more kids that we can get in, the better. It's just going to help more of these kids in the community. So